Imagine a world where stem cell therapy transformed lives and take you through the landscape of hope and healing. First, we see the stem cells tiny but powerful. They navigate through the body seeking out damaged cells. They begin to repair and regenerate and restoring health. It's a dance of science and nature working in harmony, future where healing is possible at the cellular level. Can science and faith stand together on one gene and stem cells?
I'd like to open this discussion by this asking for you. So here's our some questions. What is your understanding of gene and stem cell therapy?
Gene therapy is a medical treatment that fixes or replaces faulty genes genes to stop or prevent disease. It targets the root cause, a genetic problem. Stem cell therapy uses special cells that can become different types and body cells. These cells like hair help repair or replaces damaged tissues, such in blood disorder or spinal injuries.
Okay. Questions number 2. Do you think it's ethical to use embryonic cells in therapy?
Some people support it because these cells can develop into any cells type and may help cure serious disease. Others oppose it because they believe destroying embryo is morally wrong. Since there are alternative live adult stem cells induce pluripotent cells. They made embryonic cells can be reduced.
Question number 3. Do you support or oppose gene therapy and why?
I support gene therapy when it used safely and ethically. It can cure disease the genetic source and greatly improve lives. However, it must be carefully regulated because there are concerns about safety, loss, and altering genes in embryo.
Questions number 4. How might these therapies affect your field and ordinary people?
These therapies could bring the new medical treatments, reduce hereditary disease, and improve overall health. They may also create more jobs in science and healthcare. However, issues like cost and access must be addressed so everyone can benefit.
Question: what is my understanding of gene and stem cell therapy? I'd say gene therapy involves introducing, removing, or altering genetic material within a person's cells to create or treat and prevent diseases. It aims to correct defective genes responsible for disease development. Stem cell therapy, on the other hand, uses undifferentiated cells that can develop into specific cell types to repair or replace damaged tissues or organs. Both therapies focus on treating diseases at the root of the cause, the cellular or genetic level, rather than just managing symptoms. Yes. For the second question, do you think it's ethical to use embryonic cells in therapy? Due to concerns because obtaining embryonic stem cells involves the destruction of human embryos, which is bad. Some would think that it's also bad to do this, the process itself. Personally, I believe the ethical acceptability depends on how the embryos are collected and the intent of use. If obtained from legally donated non-viable embryos that would otherwise be discarded, and if used under strict ethical and scientific oversight to save lives, it can be considered justified. However, alternative sources should be prioritized because they're safer and they still offer the same benefits without ethical controversy. Yeah. 3. Do you support or oppose gene therapy, and why? Yes. Basing on our studies, gene therapy is good, of course, because we're doing therapy, we're fixing things. I support gene therapy because it represents a major step toward curative, meaning it can cure, and personalized medicine. It has the potential to treat genetic disorders such as cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and cancer. Some cancers, rather. Not all, but at least some. However, I believe gene therapy should be used with strict regulation to ensure safety, avoid misuse such as enhancement or designer genetics, just to make you, I don't know, a little more handsome or pretty. And also maintain ethical standards. Yeah, support should be always go hand in hand with responsible application and long-term monitoring. If not, then what's the use, okay? If it's for the glory of yourself or other people, then I don't see why. It's not ethical anymore. Number 4, how might these therapies affect your field and ordinary people? In medical technology, gene and stem cell therapies will reshape laboratory medicine. MedTech professionals will play a key role in genetic testing and screening to identify candidates for therapy, monitoring treatment outcomes through molecular assays, ensuring biosafety and quality control in handling genetic and cellular materials. By the way, I'm speaking in behalf of what I'm practicing and studying, which is medical technology. That's why I'm answering based on what I know. For ordinary people, these therapies offer hope for previously untreatable diseases, and could lead to longer, healthier lives. However, accessibility, affordability, and ethical awareness must be addressed so the benefits reach everyone, not just those who can afford advanced treatments. Yes.
Do you agree in the medical aspect? Yes, I agree, and I understand where the medical personnel is coming from, and I respect their perspective. Gene and cell therapy is still a developing field, so it's natural for healthcare professionals to be cautious. However, I also believe that these therapies hold huge potential especially for conditions that traditional treatments can fully address. What matters most is balancing hope with evidence. As long as decisions are guided by scientific data, patient safety, and clear communication, I think gene and cell therapy can be a meaningful step forward.
Of my discussion, so do you support all approaches of gene and stem cells therapy? I do not support all approaches of gene and stem cells therapy. I only support methods that are safe and ethical and proven through proper scientific testing. Approaches such as treating serious genetic disease or using adult stem cells and iPSCs are acceptable because they do not cause harm and follow strict medical standards. However, I do not support practices like germline editing or unregulated stem cells treatments since they involve high risk and unclear long-term treatments since they involve high risk and unclear long-term effects. Overall, I believe that therapies should be used responsibly and careful ethical consideration.
Good day, everyone. Today I'll be arguing the position that life begins at conception. This issue is debated around the world, but here's why many people, scientists, and ordinary citizens hold this view. Biologically, conception marks the moment when a unique set of DNA is formed. This genetic code does not change and is different from both the mother and the father. From that point, the embryo begins a continuous process of development, cell division, organ formation, heartbeat, all guided by that original DNA. Supporters of this view argue that since this organism grows, responds, and develops on its own trajectory, it already qualifies as a human life at its earliest stage. Recognizing life at conception also means recognizing that every stage of development, embryo, fetus, infant, child, is part of one continuous human life. In the end, believing that life begins at conception is about acknowledging that humanity doesn't start at birth, but at the very moment a new unique human organism exists. Thank you.
Do I agree on the religious aspect of gene stem cell therapy? Well, I respect the religious perspective because it emphasizes the sanity of human life. But I also believe that gene stem cell therapy can be acceptable when used responsibly to heal, save lives, and reduce suffering without harming embryos. In this way, science and faith can work together by valuing life while still allowing medical advances that help people.